What's up, guys? My name's Dean, or as most of you know me, Twisty, and it's time to get into the AFL Round 21 wrap-up. It was a huge weekend. It was actually a pretty good weekend of football. We had 4 or 5 games that actually went down to the wire. Just one goal between them or less for 4 of those games. Let's start off with the ladder. Let's have a look at how it looks after round 21. Each team's played 20 games now. The Bombers at the bottom of the ladder got their second win of the season. They defeated the Gold Coast Suns there. Then what else happened? Melbourne moved up. Now, for Melbourne to make the finals, they play Carlton and they play Geelong. They need to have a combined plus-minus ratio of 60 points, I think, over North Melbourne for the next 2 rounds. So if they win by 15 points both weeks, North Melbourne lose by 15 points each week, then Melbourne will jump into that top 8 position. It's going to be very critical there. The Giants slipped down into 5th as the Cats, the Crows, and the Swans all got wins, and the West Coast Eagles kept their top 4 chances alive, however slim, with a win over the Giants there in the last second. So let's take a look. Friday night we had the Dogs and the Pies. Didn't watch too much of this game, so I cannot give too much great analysis on this one. The Dogs got home by 3 points. What I do know is that Bontempelli is a superstar. 2 goals, 26 disposals. The Dogs kicked the last 3 behinds of the match to get the job done, and Collingwood just couldn't get over the line in the end. I can't give too much analysis, but what I can give is pretty much like on the season as a whole. I think the Dogs, they're still very much a finals threat. And especially next season, the Dogs will be very much a top 2 threat because they've got at least 6 players coming into that best 22 side. You've got Cramery, you've got Murphy, and then you've also got maybe a Cloak coming in. You've also got maybe a Michael Hurley coming in. So this could be a very different Dogs outfit next year that could be even more damaging than they currently are. It's crazy to think that is the scenario that goes on there. Collingwood, on the other hand, Darcy Moore is very good as well. So he's putting together a fine season. He'll be better for the run next year. And Treloar, once again, he's probably leading their best and fairest at the moment with 35 touches there. And I think he's leading the AFL for disposals as well. Let's go next game, Saturday morning, or Saturday afternoon, the early time slot. Brisbane and the Carlton Blues, a 4-point lead to the Lions. Michael Close kicked 4 goals. I actually played against his cousin on the Saturday for tennis as well. So then we had Levi Casbolt kick 4 goals, Silvani kicked 3, Zorko kicked 3 for Brisbane, and then he had Rockcliffe and Wright 2 apiece to each side. Carlton just butchered their shots on goal in that final quarter. They had so many opportunities. They came from the brink. They were 40-something points down at one stage and only lose by 4 points. They'd be pretty disappointed. I know Dale Thomas missed a shot from the boundary line late in that game as well with a right foot snap that went near side. So they'll be ruining their missed opportunities, Carlton. And Brisbane, well-deserved win there. They got the lead early and they did well enough to sustain that for the remainder of the match. Now, moving on, Hawthorn smashed North Melbourne. 39 points. It is a bit of a smashing in the context of, the top 8 ladder. So the Hawks, they are just ticking along. As I say every week, they're just playing for fun at the moment, and they're just waiting for the big time. They're pretty bored, I reckon. The Hawks, they're just waiting for finals to come around. Mitchell was pretty good, 37 touches. And, Petrie played a lone hand in that forward line with no Ben Brown, and Jared Wade kicked the 3 goals. He was pretty impressive as well up there. But we expect that from Big Drew. And Swallow really the only one getting a lot of the ball there for North Melbourne. Let's keep going again. The Giants and the Eagles, probably the best game of the round, although there was a few contenders at that one. The Giants were leading majority of the day. West Coast kept within touch. The Giants kicked away very late in that game. And then you sort of were like, okay, well, this is where we're going to find out about the Giants. The scores were tied at 90 apiece with 2 minutes to go. The Giants get out the back, kick a goal. West Coast trail by 6 points with a minute to go. Brad Hill missed a shot on goal. One behind, dangerous behind. 8 seconds to go now. Stoppage inside forward 50. Nick Naitanui kicks the winner with 1 second on the clock. It's just fantastic. But the Giants, they really messed up that stoppage. There was so much open space forward of the contest and goal side. So they will be looking at their structure there, because that was definitely wrong and definitely cost them the game in the end. But what a clutch play from Nick Naitanui. Second time he's kicked a goal after or on the siren. Obviously that famous win against North Melbourne a few years ago, back in 2013, I think it was. When they came from behind to win that one. Anyway, let's keep going. The Giants, big loss there. They will need to regroup. And West Coast, we learned that they're not actually flat track bullies. So they can compete with top 8 sides. And that's their first win on the road against a top 8 team, which is very good from their perspective going into the finals. Now, the Swans crushed St Kilda and their finals hopes by 70 points. Paddy McCartan kicked a couple for the Sainers, while Buddy kicked 6 for the Swans to get him back into that Coleman race. Potentially, he's only 2 or 3 behind Kennedy now, and it's once again very, very close. Hannibal Reddy was just outstanding, as was Parker, Lloyd, Kennedy. They're just the same names you hear every week. Very good win by the Swans. Let's take a look at that Coleman now. Buddy 3 behind Kennedy now, who's on 70 at the moment with 2 games remaining in the season. Tom Lynch, if he still kicks a big bag, there is still an opportunity that he might get the job done. So you never know. Anyway, Betts, Jenkins, they're still a bit far behind. But, Adelaide, they tend to kick bags in their big wins. Betts and Jenkins kick 6 and 5 each. So if Eddie Betts kicks another 6 over the next couple of weeks, could keep him in it. You never know. Saturday night, Melbourne beat Port Adelaide by 40 points to keep their finals hopes alive and ultimately, mathematically end Port Adelaide's finals hopes. And Thomas Bugg kicked 2 goals. He's a little bit of a pest bug. Gala kicked a couple. Brayshaw kicked a couple for the D's. But Port Adelaide, they're just in a world of hurt at the moment. They can't get to next season quick enough for them, and they just need sort of a rest. I think they've been hammered. They had one good year where they didn't necessarily overperform, but they just missed out. They lost the prelim by 3 points back in 2013 or 2014. They lost that prelim by 3 points, and it's pretty much been downhill from there for them. So they'd want to bounce back and have a better season next year. I think everyone's sort of been expecting that from them, the last couple of years. Is, we've seen what they're capable of. Can they get back to that form? I don't think they can. Maybe when they get Ryder back, if Monfries is still playing there next year, we don't know about Monfries, then we will, work that one out in next season. But Port Adelaide in a world of trouble at the moment. But Melbourne, they're a sneaky chance. They need to beat Carlton convincingly next week and then just get over the line against the Cats. That round 23 game, Geelong v Melbourne at Simmons, is going to be a spectacular match. I cannot wait for it. Anyway, let's continue. The Bombers got their second win of the season by just the 1 goal over the Gold Coast Suns. Lynch missed a few shots, as did Wright and Day, so they kicked 6 goals, 6 between the 3 of them. Could have been a little more accurate. The Bombers, they were somewhat accurate for once. I think they were kicking at about 45% goal accuracy for the season. This time they kicked more goals than behinds. They got the win in the end, 75-69. Azario kicked 3, McKenna kicked 2. Zaka kicked, he had 40 disposals, and so did Zach Merritt, had 38 there. So very good performance by the Bombers. They'll be very happy, and that's a good way to end their season. I know there's still 2 games to go, but if they can sneak over the line in another one of their 2 games, I don't know who they play, but I think they play the Bulldogs and someone else. So they'll be pretty pleased with their effort. The Bombers, they got 2 wins in a season that meant nothing for them pretty much, and it's just sort of a reset for next year. And who knows, maybe they can make the finals next year. I don't think it's that likely, but stranger things have happened. And this is another strange thing. The next game, Richmond and the Cats. The Tigers led by 35 points going into the 3-quarter time break. Geelong only kicked 3 goals or 4 goals going into 3-quarter time. Kicked 6 goals, 9 in the final quarter to 1 goal straight. Got the win by 4 points. the Cats, 10 goals, 22. 9 rush behinds in that as well. So, did Richmond rush too many behinds? No, obviously they were just stopping the goals from going through. But the Cats got the job done in the end. Dustin Martin was probably the best man on the ground at 36. Selwood, I'd give the 2 votes, and Basher Hooley, I'd give the 1 vote to in that instance, or maybe Rance will get a vote in there as well. Danger, I didn't think was that great with his disposal, even though he had 30 touches. So I think Dustin can pick up a few votes on him there for the Brownlow. Lloyd kicked 3. Rioli was very, very good. He was probably one of the best games I've seen Dan Rioli play for the Tigers in his first year here. Menegola kicked a couple for the Cats. McCarthy kicked a couple. Motlop was very inaccurate. Hawkins didn't play well until the last quarter, and they just got it done. The Cats, that's what they needed to do. They needed to keep their top 4 chance alive with a win. They got the job done, and they are in the top 4 as we speak. Now, the final game of the round, Adelaide crushed the Dockers. I feel like every week I get to the Adelaide game, and I'm like, oh yeah, they just won by 10 goals. So we'll know more about them when they play a better side, the Crows, but they are just firing very, very nicely at the moment and getting wins done by 12 goals all the time. So, big win, the Crows. They'll be happy. Betts and Jenkins, 11 between them. I think they scored the entire Dockers score between them. Yeah, they kicked 11-4 between them. So, single-handedly, Betts and Jenkins outscored Fremantle, or scored the same as them. So that pretty much sums up where they're at. Now, the top 8 v top 8. A couple of games were in here. We had Hawthorn beat North Melbourne to put North Melbourne at 2-7 against top 8 sides. Oh boy, they need to be fit going into the finals. West Coast got their second win over a top 8 side, again the Giants, who go to 4-4 against top 8 teams. Now, we got 2 rounds to go. The Cats looking the best premiership chance here, beating all the good sides, really. Only lost to the Giants and the Swans in that bracket. So, interesting final series coming up. And that's pretty much how the top 8 looks, isn't it? Is that how it looks? Or I think Adelaide's probably the one that's a bit higher than that. In terms of their thing. So we'll see how we go in that finals, but we've still got a couple of rounds to go. Leave a big thumbs up if you enjoyed today's video. Hopefully you did, and hopefully your team won on the weekend and didn't choke. So see you on Friday for the preview. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.